I'm gonna break this down for y'all real quick. I'm Moses. I think they call it Hiawatha. It's the archetype that sets the people free. That's me. I don't really want to do it though, so I'm really more Jonah, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because that's what I'm here to do, right? I'm gonna set you free linearly though. Most people learn about being set free in terms of like the religion. You know what I'm saying? Like a savior or messiah. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna run down this history lesson in like 2 minutes, and we're gonna tell you how it works. You get people, and it's just a group of people, but for like the nomenclature and the vocabulary that most people have, we're gonna call them white people. But it's all y'all. But white people, people who forget how to connect with the land, come to America, to the black people, to remember how to connect with the land. You guys are colonialists, and it's all y'all. It's not just pale skinned people. See, that's where some of y'all be getting off. Y'all be blaming white people, and it's all y'all. It's the Indians, it's the Africans, it's all y'all. Y'all forgot how to connect actually to your own land, so it goes barren, or you forgot how to connect to the mind, so it goes barren. So you got to come back to America, the promised land, and you got to talk to somebody like me, Moses, Joseph, Hiawatha, all of them. Hiawatha's the equivalent of the peace bringer, the peacemaker in the Iroquois Confederation, and it's important that you know this, or at least know the story of it, because it's the same. It's the same archetype. In the Iroquois Confederation, we weren't dumb like y'all niggas is dumb. Y'all niggas is dumb. You can't control nobody. So if we're having a government, it's representative. It's a fiction. When we do it, even if we're talking about things that matter, it's a fiction because I can't control what you can do. All I can do is like do my best to guide it. If I'm trying to do the best, I can't control you. So in order for us to do that, we demonstrate it. We use symbols. So the government itself is a symbol in the same way God is a symbol. But I know most people haven't expanded their brain large enough to understand this yet. Because if the government is not a symbol, that means somebody's in charge of the government. And if somebody's in charge of the government, then we're in slavery. And the whole point of America is that you can't be in slavery. And yet, why are we in slavery? Because we continue to put ourselves in slavery, because we don't understand this principle. The government isn't Trump. That's a fiction. That's some TV shit. It's not real. The way the government works is you're self-governed, even if you don't know you're self-governed. Because when the colonialists came, all y'all came to my land over here in America, um, y'all don't understand, like, you don't rule people with force, because ruling is measurement. So you don't measure people by their force output. You rule people through story, because people are only valued according to how they're operating in their own story. Their own, though, which you have complete control of. I can't control your story, right? So again, if you're dealing with somebody who understands the principle of government, and when you think about what a governor does in the car, all I'm doing is limiting your air. And there's three forms of air, 258. Your breath, your emotional, your gaseous pressure on the inside, and then your words. If I can control any of those three aspects, then I'm a government system. Simple as that. So again, y'all come over to America, y'all forget how the whole thing works, and then you need a system. We give you a representative form of government. Your actual form of government, the thing that limits your air, is your body. So the government has to represent or reflect your body. You have the judicial system, the one that judges. You have the legislative, the one that legislates. You have the executive. And I'll let y'all figure out which three of your centers go to which. One that judges, one that executes, one that legislates. I'm not sure which is which, but one's up here, one's in here, and one's in here. And then you have different local ways that power distributes itself across the system. It's not real, but you think it's real. So then people have to treat you like it is. You coming to America is for you to learn how the body works, because once you learn how the body works, you're not free in America, you free in the cosmos. You free in the cosmos. You free to move in space in 3, 4, and 5 dimensions. You could do anything. But control doesn't want you to know that, because control actually thinks it's real. Because control is left brain. Control is, again, white people. Control is the colonial mind. So anyone who's subject to the colonial mind without being able to, like, really explain your way out of it, then you're always going to be stuck in it. There are no kings on earth. There are no queens on earth. There's nobody above or nobody below. Everybody is at the same level. And for you to insist that that is not the truth is evidence that your right brain isn't on. You're not perceiving it correctly. It's not a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of historical. Like, all the stories are lies. All the stories aren't real. The stories are not real. They're all fiction. They're built to keep you from knowing yourself. That's it. They're here to entertain you. And it works infinity. It's a story that never ends. So until you unplug from the story that never ends, then you're never going to connect with yourself. But once you connect with yourself, you'll see that in the story that never ends, it's a representation of you. How do I know this? Is because I made it up. Me. I go out into nature and it's like, we have to design our systems based on nature. You have to, because you're not separate from it. But again, your colonial mind thinks you're separate from nature, but you're not. You're not. You just cast yourself so far away in frequency that it seems like you're disconnected from nature, but you're always connected to source. Source is omnipresent. And you can know this crazy enough, by the way, not by reading books, not by meditating, not by any of that. You could accidentally eat something and then your eyes will be open. So it's not about morals. You could accidentally smoke something and then your eyes will be open. It's not about being a good person. It's not about being a bad person. It's about your frequency. And then what you're doing to modulate your frequency. That has to be what the game is about. The whole narrative input of good and bad is completely arbitrary. And yet, when you look into the world based on frequency tending and how you have to monitor your frequency, there are certain actions that you will and you won't do, but it has nothing to do with morality and everything to do with literal frequency. How often you're going from the frequency of the mind to the frequency of the heart to the frequency of the body. But you can stay within the literal understanding of what, like, you learned when you were like 13, 14, 15, when they brainwashed you in school. Or you can grow up and understand that it's a representation system, and that when you control your government, the external government has to reflect it. I promise you. And whether that applies whether you're doing it by yourself or you're doing it in a group. Because this whole group thing and the whole black marching and we got to get together, and it ain't work. Everybody for themselves now. Everybody got to upgrade their frequency for themselves by themselves, because the group shit didn't work. So those who want to upgrade and want to go to heaven have the opportunity to. And if you don't, you won't. And it's simple as that. But once you upgrade your frequency, you can't unsee what you see. You can't unhear what you hear. You're not trapped by the U.S. government. It's a fiction. The U.S. government, the Bible, zero, they're all fictions. They're all fictions to lock different parts of your mind. Zero locks your heart because it has to do with your frequency. Like, literally just the count, the beat is your heart. And then God sort of controls your mind. Because even if you're an atheist, you know, they say there's no atheist in a foxhole. But please get me out of here. What? Y'all scared of death. Fuck death. There's no such thing. Even if it hurts, you go somewhere else after. So you're not worried about pain. You're worried about termination. But termination doesn't exist because energy can neither be created or destroyed. It can only be rearranged. You have to know this. You have to. So when they show you death and war and all of that, you have to know it's fiction. But you don't know it's fiction because you're either not connected to source or you don't study. You're not looking at the obvious things. There's a seed and there's a tree inside of a seed. There's no such thing as death. So you just have to identify, are you seed? Are you like sproutling? Are you tree before fruit? Are you a fruit that bears tree? You just have to identify what stage you're on. And once you identify what stage you're on, you can operate accordingly. But it's hard to explain this to people because their right brain isn't on. And if your right brain isn't on, you're only going to say it's literal. But it's not, because this is America. Study the history. Welcome to America, by the way. A lot of y'all have to exit the mentality of the United States to enter America. You have to exit the understanding that you can't be African American. You can only come from one continent, stupid. Your identity is two continents, so you have no nationality because you're not identifying with the country. You're African and American, North American, South American. You don't know because it's a game. I'm trying to tell y'all, the U.S. dollar is script. The Fed is completely made up. The policy and how it's all whatever, man. Y'all can stay in Oz if you want to. You can stay there if you want to. It's up to y'all, though. Love and peace.